Hello, and today we are trying to answer that age-old conundrum, that puzzle that has confused men throughout the centuries. Does Bob's chocolate flake actually taste like chocolate? Welcome to the Tainted Tavern.
Welcome to the Tainted Tavern. Come sit inside for free.
Okay, I'm just giving these pipes a bit of a clean here. I'm using this cheap vodka that I always use when I want to clean my pipes. Dip the pipe cleaner in here and run it through the stem and the bowl, and it sweetens up the pipe. I don't drink vodka, and I've had this bottle now, this tiny bottle, £5.39. Purposely bought the cheapest vodka because it was, rather than for consumption, it was for pipe cleaning, so I purposely bought the cheapest vodka, as I tend to have a tear in my eye whenever I use any of my whiskey to clean pipes. The whiskey belongs in the belly. So I bought that cheap vodka. This is a bulldog shape, this pipe here. I'm giving it a quick clean. Look at the mess coming onto my hands. It's been a while since I've cleaned this pipe. It's a Flake. This is a fantastic pipe though. The reason I'm cleaning it all of a sudden, I smoked it last night because we've had lovely weather. We've got lovely weather today. So instead of smoking in the tavern, I smoked it in the beer garden. My flower-filled beer garden, which is what I'm going to be doing again today now with this Bob's Chocolate Flake. But I've decided it needed it's been in my cupboard for a long time. I've got so many pipes. Well, I'm not a massive pipe person in terms of collecting, like some people have hundreds of pipes. I've probably got about 30 to 40, and we'll go through them in a future video. I used to have nearly 100 pipes. I gave so many away when I gave up smoking for several years. I regret that to this day. So anyway, we're going to talk about does Bob's Chocolate Flake from Galway actually tastes like chocolate? It's an interesting tobacco. It's made up, I'm going to smoke it in this little pipe here. So I'm going to give this a clean too. You can see the pipe cleaner there. So I'll put it back into the vodka. As I tend to be rather frugal with pipe cleaners because I use so many that I'll use them a couple of times during a cleaning thing until they totally perish before I throw them out. So yeah, we're going to use this little wellbore pipe. But Bob's Chocolate Flake is an interesting tobacco. It's made up of Virginia, Latakia, a sun-cured Malawi leaf, and burley, which is also a burley from Malawi. The Virginia is a blend of leaves from Brazil, and I believe there's some from Zimbabwe. It's 82% the Virginia. About 8% Latakia, I believe. The sun-cured Malawi then comes in at another 8%, and the burley, a very small amount, just to help the tobacco burn evenly, is 2%. So you know, it's an interesting tobacco. It takes its name, Chocolate Flake, from the casing that is used on its toppings, which is let's just put this pipe back together. Yeah, this is a fantastic fantastic pipe. I was smoking this out the garden last night, in the beer garden last night, and I had to come in for something, so I'm halfway through the bowl. I put the pipe down on the table. I came in, I think I made myself a cup of coffee. Did I pour myself a beer? I can't really remember. But anyway, it was probably 5 minutes before I went back out, and I thought, okay, I'll light the pipe again, but I picked it up in my mouth, and it immediately started producing smoke again. The draw on that is absolutely fantastic. It's a Flake Mabriar. Flake Mabriars are generally good quality pipes. But I'm going to smoke this Bob's Chocolate Flake today in this wellbore pipe. A cheap budget pipe, but again, it smokes really well. So let's get the tobacco prepared. Get this out of the way a minute off my desk. Yeah, I was listening to the radio the other day, and I happened to catch a play. But it already started on Radio 4 Extra, and it was called Potted History, and it was written by gosh, what was his name? Andrew Dallamaya. Andrew Dallamaya, who was he's passed away now, a Scottish writer. And he did a lot of, he's probably known as a character actor. You probably recognise the face. He's got one of those faces, you see the face, and you've seen him in so many TV shows, but you don't, you know, you can't necessarily put a name to him. And it was quite a curious little play, and the basic theory was that he'd invented this machine, which he called a time machine. Just going to get the chocolate flake out of here. So it's in it's for Flake, obviously it's called Bob's Chocolate Flake. I'm going to rub this out now and give it preparation. So anyway, back to the play. Yeah, he's invented this machine that could read pottery plates as if they were records. So imagine it's playing it like as if it was an LP record. And he'd managed to extract human voices from it, because the concept was that when the pottery wheel was spinning and the little needle that was used to decorate the pottery acted in the way that the way of an LP record is cut, with the little needle carving the sound into the grooves, and he was able to extract human sounds from ancient pottery. And it was one of those plays that the BBC used to do so well, BBC Radio. Eccentric characters. Reuben, the inventor, played by Tom Watson, it was excellent. You know, he was totally the kind of eccentric inventor you would have found in 1970s Doctor Who. He was that kind of character. But anyway, he got in touch with someone who is a curator at the museum, a young lady called Anna. And he had to steal ancient pottery, or rather borrow ancient pottery from the university, from the museum, and bring them to him so he could play them, and they could see what they picked up. And anyway, they ended up getting the voice of Christ, and Jesus says something like, I, Jesus of Nazareth, am not the Son of God, just a prophet. And anyway, that plate gets stuck and gets dropped and smashed, and all manner of chaos follows. But it was a great play. But as I say, I come on in it. I come onto it in the middle of the night, so I missed it. So when I come in that evening, it suddenly occurred to me that I'd like to hear it again. So, but I couldn't remember the title. As I say, it was Potted History. I couldn't remember the title. So rather than going straight to the BBC Sounds website and searching for the schedules of Radio 4 Extra on that day, which would have led me straight to it, for some reason I used artificial intelligence. I do like artificial intelligence these days for searching, because it's more of a conversational style. It's a chatbot, isn't it? And I put in the plot, blah 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 blah, and it came up with about 30 hits of different programs. And it also led me to a program called Mythbusters, in which they looked at this myth a bit, and I thought, wow, this must be actual science then. So I started looking at it even deeper, and I found out that for human sounds to be recorded on pottery, or for rather for historic sounds to be recorded on pottery while the pottery is being produced, is theoretically possible. And indeed, it has happened. And they have been able to recover certain sounds. Not to the extent that they could in the radio play, of course. Okay, that's tobacco, well prepared now. So as you can see, I've rubbed that out into a nice broken leaf. So, I mean, certain people do fold and stuff their flakes, and but I don't really go for that. I find that very difficult to keep a pipe alive with most tobacco, so I tend to rub out all my flakes. But that's, as I say, just personal preference. You may prefer it the other way. So anyway, I've made some notes here because I wanted to talk about this. So there have been several TV shows and radio plays that have used this concept. There was an episode of The X-File, There was a play from 1955 called Frozen Sound. Crime Scene Investigates actually used this theory in one of its episodes. So it's a real branch of science called archacoustics. So it's a mixture of archaeology and acoustics. And in 1993, two scientists, researchers, Paul Ostrom and Mendel Kleinert, actually cut a 400 Hertz signal into a pottery plate to prove it could be done. And then they used a laser, which goes by a scientific name, an acronym IRENE, which stands for Image, Reconstruct, Erase, Noise, etc., laser scanning. And you know, it's just fascinating to think that is actually, theoretically at least, possible. There was also, I did note this down. Richard Woodbridge, way back in the 1980s, he managed to, using a device very similar to the one described in the radio play, so kind of a record player for pottery, managed to extract the gentle lump of a potter's wheel from hundreds of years ago. So it does work, but in order to get human voices, for this audio to be inadvertently recorded by the potter is pretty much impossible. Because as it says, then, you know, once the pottery's actually made, it's got to be kilned. That would kill off any possible human audio there. But certain resonances, such as background sounds, are recorded. So I can't believe I've never heard of that. But anyway, it was a really interesting play. Anyway, I'm waffling on. The pipe is ready now, so I'm gonna fill this pipe now. Then I'm gonna get dressed, and we're gonna move out of the into the beer garden of the tavern and try and answer the question: does Bob's chocolate flake actually taste like chocolate? Waste not, want not, my friends. This green tea mixed with an herbal pomegranate. Quite nice. So, that play I was talking about, it's available on BBC Sounds at the moment. I don't know how long for, but it's well worth checking out. So let's get the pipe going. It's high quality tobacco leaf used. That's the primary taste. You get that chocolate on the tin note. The taste is more of high quality tobaccos. Savoury. Burns really well. Rich. There may be a hint of chocolate, but it's not like a milk chocolate, more of a creamy cocoa type bean. Of course, it's tobacco. It's a legacy blend. It's been out many years. It used to be called Bob's Chocolate Flake, but due to licensing changing, it's now just called Bob's Flake. That's because of the anti-smoking laws that the government have made. Can't have any enticing words such as chocolate, aromatic, mild, linked with tobaccos of any kind. Maybe a touch of chocolate, but as I say, it's not a full-on in-your-face milk chocolate taste. Hello, Maddie. Bulldog. Certainly goes well with the tea. Nice. You can taste that rich, smooth, grassy hay, summer meadow quality of the Virginia. chocolate is not the primary taste of this. The taste you're getting from this are good quality tobacco, and this really is good quality leaf. I mean, it's burning at a lovely, slow, steady rate. You saw me prepare the tobacco by rubbing it out, allowing it to dry for a few minutes to get the right moisture level. You're getting our Virginia grassiness. The burley and latakia are not really evident. There is something of smoky qualities of burley, and perhaps a very, very faint suggestion of nuttiness which comes from the burley. I believe those tobaccos are primarily there to even things out. It's a very, very enjoyable smoke.
Come back soon.